All too soon, it seems, the year has turned and it's winter. Mummers are out on the streets of Knaresborough.
How's that? Yeah, go on. Nice, George. And fight once more, but don't do as you did before. Right there, he's over it. Down the side.
With you, sir, one of your dozen told us to go out on the cruise. We wish you all good luck and a happy new year. And if you need any muck, we'll clean it up. Merry Christmas! We are the Knaresborough Mummers! Performing a traditional local money play and collecting for traditional charities.
And in Richmond, Towed Hoss is led round the marketplace by huntsmen collecting donations for local charities. This custom is thought to date back to the 18th century, when the poor toured the grand houses nearby, collecting money for a night on the town.
Cold winds and frost and snow. Poor old balls, poor old balls. I'm to the hunts, and so freely I will give my body to the hounds. Get out! I rather die than live. So taking with me. It's neither fit to ride upon. Get out! Or anything to draw.
Christmas is fast approaching and there's so much to do. But what more atmospheric way than to get on a steam train at Keighley and travel down the Worth Valley line, getting off at Haworth.
Merry Christmas! And who have we got here? Hello, I like your purse, eh? Is it Thomas on your scarf? Bye-bye everyone! Ho ho ho! Merry Christmas! Bye-bye! Bye-bye! Bye-bye everyone! Everybody off, boys.
On Main Street, carols are sung before the choir ends up at the church where Patrick Bronte was curate.
Merry Christmas, everybody! Merry Christmas, ladies! Merry Christmas, everybody! Merry Christmas!
Although Christmas is a happy time for many, have a thought for the campanologists at Dewsbury Minster on Christmas Eve. They must toll the bell known as Black Tom once for every year since the birth of Christ. It's a penance for Thomas de Soothill, who killed his servant in 1434.
And on his deathbed repented and was worried about his soul, so he left an endowment to pay for a bell and to pay for it to be rung every Christmas, hoping that this would get his soul out of purgatory a bit quicker. Oh, that's the story anyway. The bell, which is the tenor bell here, the biggest bell, is known as Black Tom in memory of Thomas de Soothill. And so far as we know, this tradition has been carried on ever since, so it is a very long-running tradition. I believe there's been an odd period of time when it's been rung at New Year instead of Christmas, but on the whole it's been rung Christmas Eve, and we finish on the stroke of midnight, hopefully. Actually start the service at 11:15, and you can hear the bell tolling through the first part of the service. When the bell stops, then everyone knows that it's actually Christmas Day.
After the overindulgences of Christmas Day, what better way to shed those excess pounds than for a stroll? When 13 Benedictine monks from St Mary's Abbey in York found their order becoming a bit too lax, they decided to leave and come to Ripon, where they arrived on Christmas Day in the year 1132.
We walk out through the suburbs of Ripon and then start off just down the Pateley Bridge Road and then cut into the fields and then of course into the parkland of Studley Royal. The numbers vary enormously according to the weather. The biggest by a long way was the one which immediately followed the foot and mouth outbreaks, when it was certainly over 1,000 who were walking. It's not usually as many as that, and on really wet days we've been down to sort of a couple of hundreds. It's about the sort of 500 mark. The Boxing Day pilgrimage is really thinking about those first monks, the ones who came not from Ripon but from York, and they were York monks from St Mary's York, and they were looking as the monastic movement has always wanted to find somewhere where it can return to a primitive dependence upon God, a simplicity of life, and an openness to God often in quite remote places. And this particular group of monks felt that in the substantial city of York, this had become corrupt, actually, had got involved with the politics of York and had built itself up too much into a place where so much was going on that it wasn't possible actually to concentrate on God. And so they came to Ripon as a staging post. They simply spent Christmas there and then felt that they were led by God up the Skell to a place which now, of course, is very beautiful, but then would have been quite wild up in the hills.
People are out and about to celebrate the new year, and what better way than a dip in the plunge pool at White Wells on Ilkley Moor, although be warned the temperature is always very cold. Or how about further down the Wharfe Valley? You could join the swimmers in the river at Otley. Perhaps water is seen as a way of washing off the past year, not only to cleanse your soul, but also to help others around the world. Indeed, here at Scarborough, people don fancy dress and raise money for the Scarborough Lions by rushing into the freezing sea. Although people are back at work, Christmas ends on Twelfth Night, the 6th of January. But it's a night which is still celebrated in Ripondon in the Ryburn Valley, where mamas see out the old year and welcome in the new.
Since you're not quite slain, right up, St. George, and fight again. We'll all join hands and never fight again. We'll sweep away the old year and bring the new year in. Ladies and gentlemen, our play is ended. Our collecting box is recommended. With its help, the church roof will soon be mended.